In a time of deepening religious divisions and cultural misunderstandings, Swami Vivekananda stood as a beacon of truth and fearless criticism. His powerful words on hypocrisy and genuine spirituality shook the very foundations of religious discourse in the West. Welcome back to our exploration of Swami Vivekananda's impactful journey. In this episode, we dive into a chapter of his life marked by bold criticisms and profound insights. From confronting religious hypocrisy to addressing the deep-seated issues within both Eastern and Western societies, Vivekananda's fearless approach and unwavering principles continue to resonate. Join us as we uncover how his outspoken nature and principled stance challenged prevailing norms and inspired genuine reflection across cultures. Swami Vivekananda was especially bitter about false Christianity and the religious hypocrisy of many Christian leaders. In a lecture given in Detroit, he came out in one of his angriest moods and declared in the course of his speech, "You train and educate and clothe and pay men to do what? To come over to my country and curse and abuse all my forefathers, my religion, my everything. They walk near a temple and say, 'You idolaters, you will go to hell.' But the Hindu is mild, he smiles and passes on, saying, 'Let the fools talk.' And then you, who train men to abuse and criticize, if I just touch you with the least bit of criticism but with the kindest purpose, you shrink and cry, 'Do not touch us.' We are Americans. We criticize, curse, and abuse all the heathens of the world, but do not touch us. We are sensitive plants. And whenever you missionaries criticize us, let them remember this. If all India stands up and takes all the mud that lies at the bottom of the Indian Ocean and throws it up against the Western countries, it will not be doing an infinitesimal part of what you are doing to us." Continuing, the Swami said that the military conquests of the Western nations and the activities of the Christian missionaries, strangely enough, often proceeded side by side. Most people were converted for worldly reasons. But the Swami warned, such things tumble down, they are built upon sand, they cannot remain long. Everything that has selfishness for its basis, competition for its right hand, and enjoyment as its goal must die sooner or later. If you want to live, go back to Christ. You are not Christians. No, as a nation you are not. Go back to Christ. Go back to him who had nowhere to lay his head. Yours is a religion preached in the name of luxury. What an irony of fate. Reverse this if you want to live, reverse this. You cannot serve God and mammon at the same time. All this prosperity, all this from Christ. Christ would have denied all such heresies. If you can join these two, this wonderful prosperity with the ideal of Christ, it is well. But if you cannot, better go back to him and give up these vain pursuits. Better be ready to live in rags with Christ than to live in palaces without him. On one occasion, the Swami was asked to speak in Boston on Ramakrishna, a subject dear to his heart. When he looked at the audience, the artificial and worldly crowd of people, and contrasted it with his master's purity and renunciation, he practically dropped the subject and mercilessly inveighed against the materialistic culture of the West. The audience was resentful and many left the meeting in an angry mood. But Vivekananda too had his lesson. On returning home, he recalled what he had said and wept. His master had never uttered a word of condemnation against anybody, even the most wicked person. Yet he, while talking about Ramakrishna, had criticized these good-hearted people who were eager to learn about the master. He felt that he was too unworthy of Sri Ramakrishna to discuss him or even to write about him. Swami Vivekananda's outspoken words aroused the bitter enmity of a large section of the Christian missionaries and their American patrons, and also of Christian fanatics. Filled with rancor and hatred, these began to vilify him both openly and in private. They tried to injure his reputation by writing false stories traducing his character. Some of the Indian delegates to the parliament, jealous of the Swami's popularity and fame, joined in the vilification. Missionaries working in India and some of the Hindu organizations started an infamous campaign against the Swami's work. The Theosophists were particularly vindictive. They declared that the Swami was violating the laws of monastic life in America by eating forbidden food and breaking caste laws. His friends and disciples in India were frightened and sent him cuttings from Indian papers containing these malicious reports. One article stated that one of the Swami's American hostesses had had to dismiss a servant girl on account of the Swami's presence in the house. But the lady published a vehement denial and said that the Swami was an honored guest in her home and would always be treated with affection and respect. The Swami wrote to his timorous devotees in India concerning a particular American paper that had criticized him, telling them that it was generally known in America as the blue-nosed Presbyterian paper, that no educated American took it seriously, and that, following the well-known Yankee trick, it had tried to gain notoriety by attracting a man lionized by society. He assured them that the American people as a whole, and many enlightened Christian clergymen, were among his admiring friends. And he asked them not to send him any more of such newspaper trash with articles from his vilifiers. He told them furthermore that he had never deviated from the two basic vows of the monastic life, namely chastity and poverty, and that as regards other things. He was trying to adjust himself to the customs of the people among whom he lived. To the accusation from some Orthodox Hindus that the Swami was eating forbidden food at the table of infidels, he retorted, "Do you mean to say I am born to live and die as one of those caste-ridden, superstitious, merciless, hypocritical, atheistic cowards that you only find among the educated Hindus? I hate cowardice. I will have nothing to do with cowards. I belong to the world as much as to India, no humbug about that. What country has a special claim on me? Am I a nation's slave? I see a greater power than man or God or devil at my back. I require nobody's help. I have been all my life helping others." To another Indian devotee he wrote in similar vein, "I am surprised that you take the missionaries' nonsense so seriously. If the people of India want me to keep strictly to my Hindu diet, please tell them to send me a cook and money enough to keep him. On the other hand, if the missionaries tell you that I have ever broken the two great vows of the sannyasin, chastity and poverty, tell them that they are big liars. As for me, mind you, I stand at nobody's dictation and no chauvinism about me. I hate cowardice. I will have nothing to do with cowards or political nonsense. I do not believe in any politics. God and truth are the only politics in the world. Everything else is trash." Swami Vivekananda remained unperturbed by opposition. His lectures, intensely religious and philosophical, were attended everywhere by eminent people. Many came to him for private instruction. His aim was to preach the eternal truths of religion and to help sincere people in molding their spiritual life. Very soon, his dauntless spirit, innate purity, lofty idealism, spiritual personality, and spotless character attracted to him a band of sincere and loyal American disciples, whom he began to train as future Vedanta workers in America. It must be said to the credit of America that she was not altogether unprepared to receive the message of Vivekananda. Certain spiritual ideas, which were congenial for the reception of the Vedantic ideals presented by the Swami, had already begun to ferment underneath the robust, picturesque, gay, and dynamic surface of American life. Freedom, equality, and justice had always been the cherished treasures of American hearts. To these principles, which the Americans applied in politics and society for the material and ethical welfare of men, Swami Vivekananda gave a spiritual basis and interpretation. In the next video, we delve into a different yet equally significant aspect of Swami Vivekananda's journey. We will examine the intersection of American history with Eastern spirituality, focusing on how his teachings resonated during a time of great transformation in America. From the religious foundations of the early colonists to the spiritual and intellectual currents of the 19th century, join us as we uncover how Vivekananda's vision bridged cultures and enriched both worlds. Stay tuned for an enlightening exploration of this dynamic convergence. Thank you for listening till the end. Please subscribe, Turn on the notifications, like, comment, and share with your friends. This will help more listeners to discover our channel and content.